Hello, guys. Welcome to the Premier League Punters, coming to you live from Florida. Final show before I'm back in the studio with dear Flash. Flash, how you doing? Sitting solo there. How's everything going?
Yeah, good. You'll be pleased to know that the weather's now a lot better. But as the schedule you set out for me, though, I've been in here since like the crack of dawn this morning.
Well, that's good, Flash. It's good to hear that you're working hard, getting things done, which is great.
Exactly.
Yeah, Martin, we were just talking. I've heard obviously Ferrero Rochers and chocolate for breakfast and drink and cheese. That's what Christmas is all about, really, isn't it? Forget about the diet and just eat chocolate for breakfast.
Yeah, it's been pretty heavy on my waistline. I'm definitely looking forward to a bit of a January detox, but I'm loving it. Yeah, we've had loads of great football action as well. Busy calendar, full round of games on Boxing Day, and more to look forward to now. So I don't think the players have been going as large as me. Sadly, they probably had to be a bit more circumspect over their Christmas break, but. Yeah, they provided us with some thrilling entertainment, so thanks to all.
Yeah, they did. We'll get to that in a second. Flash, what did you have for Christmas lunch?
I had pasta on the 24th, just pasta. And on Christmas Day, I made some honey carrots and asparagus, a couple of potatoes, and a tiny bit of chicken.
Oh. That doesn't sound so good.
No.
I'll have to sort that out next year.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, we'll sort that out next year,
No
Flash.
pigs in blankets, no Yorkshire puddings, no chocolate. Honest to God.
What?
I might as well. I know, yeah, listen. It's different. It's different. I'm spreading my wings culturally.
Yeah, okay. Now, so we've talked about food. Let's talk about the winners and how we did on Boxing Day. Obviously, Liverpool, what a win, hey?
What a
win. That was nice. Manchester United, very nice indeed. Arsenal. Martin, what happened? We were expecting a galvanized team. It didn't happen. What are we looking for coming into this round of fixtures? It's about time they pulled out a win and the new manager.
Yeah, we were expecting them to be galvanised, and they looked pretty good in the first 20 minutes. They worked harder off the ball. They were chasing things down, but up front they just looked so rusty. Lacazette was poor, Reece Nelson was poor, lots of heavy touches, and they were trying to play out from the back like Man City do, but they're not good enough to do it, and they don't have the personnel. Lost possession, conceded a sloppy goal. And yeah, I think a draw was a fair result at the end of the day. Fortunately, they're playing Chelsea, who are also in absolutely horrendous form. So I'm not sure how that one's going to go, really. Might pass that one.
Yeah. Now, we described the Boxing Day fixtures as probably the trickiest round. Martin had the most amount of passes that I think he's had all season long. And in fact, that I've ever seen him pass. How would you describe this round, Flash?
Be careful, injuries and suspensions. A couple of things that we noted last week was obviously Chelsea at home to Southampton was a trap. Southampton put their best performance of the season in, and they followed Bournemouth and West Ham, who both went there, won at Stamford Bridge and kept clean sheets. And we also told you about Newcastle going to Man United. 5 or 6 changes. They went 1-0 up, ran out of gas. Look out for these teams that have big enough squads to be able to cope. We're going to go down and talk about it a bit later, but Spurs go to Norwich. And I believe that Spurs are going to be missing 4 midfielders and potentially Dele Alli. So be careful with your bets. I expect this to be, well, you'll hear when I put out my bets. I found loads of value, but I'm not expecting entertainment.
Okay, Martin, how would you sum up this round of fixtures?
I think it's a difficult round of fixtures. It's a difficult time of season, really. There's been a lot of freak results just because a lot of players are fatigued. So yeah, I probably would advise don't go crazy with your stakes when you consider how many factors there are at play. You would expect the teams with the bigger squads to do well at this time of year. To a certain extent, that's been borne out, but there still have been a few strange results. I went for 6 plays and 4 passes in the last round of fixtures after I sneaked in Sheffield United under 2.5 goals. I'm glad I did because that one came in. And I think I'll probably go for something similar this time, maybe 6 or 7 plays, 3 or 4 passes. There's a few that I really don't like the look of, a few evenly matched teams that just have alarm bells ringing all over them for me. But I have been able to find a fair bit of value. So I'm quite pleased with some of the selections I've landed on.
All right, so Flash as well saying value. You said don't go crazy with your stakes. Martin, have you ever gone crazy with your stake?
Yeah, sometimes I have. Depends how lucky
like to
I'm
live
feeling.
on the edge, you.
Yeah, no, not the price, but the stakes. Yeah, I mean, sometimes I put some big bets on. Sometimes successful, sometimes less so. Sometimes in Vegas when I'm drunk, I'm just throwing money around. But no, generally erring on the side of caution.
I had 12 bets in this card.
Wow.
Yeah.
You have a lot of bets. Okay. Well, listen. Let's get going. Obviously we've got one more match playing today. So we will release the record when we're back normal time, which is next week, Wednesday, 2 p.m. Eastern time. So we're just waiting for this match to play.
Is that Premier League
and,
punters
we'll
on Monday, Matt? Nat?
Is it, Monday.
Yes.
Monday. Sorry, I stand corrected. We'll be back on Monday. Okay, Brighton versus Bournemouth. Now let's start off. Brighton 1.9, Bournemouth 4.75. 15th, Brighton hosts 16th, Bournemouth, both in need of points. I think this is going to be close and cagey. I think it's going to reflect on the pitch here, these two teams needing the points. Brighton obviously clear favourites though at home, 1.9. Start us off, Flash.
Well, obviously Brighton have been in absolutely fantastic form. They're playing really well, even if their results are not matching. I was quite impressed with the way that Bournemouth stuck to their task. They have quite a young squad, which means that their legs are going to be a little bit fresher than some of the the teams that have older players. But I look at this game and think it's like a South Coast derby. I'm going to go for the draw at 4.0. I wouldn't, and listen, you know what I say about the draws, if it's still a draw with 15 minutes to go, cash out, take your money and run. But I'm not even going to bother complicating it. And I've gone for the draw at 4.0.
All right. First draw here. I'm liking the draw, to be honest. Martin, what about yourself?
Yeah, I'm liking the draw too. I think Bournemouth have got a very good record against Brighton. Very, very strong record against them. But yeah, I think I'm just going to go for under 2.5 goals in this game. Bournemouth didn't show a great deal of ambition against Arsenal. They kept things tight. They've learned to defend better. Callum Wilson's on a real goal drought, so they can't really go out and attack too much at the moment. Brighton are trying to be a bit more ambitious under Graham Potter than they were under Chris Hughton. But still, they don't look like a team that's got a great deal of goals in them. I can't really see this being 1-1. So, yeah, I think the draw makes sense. But I'm going to go for under 2.5 goals at odds of 1.96.
Yeah, I think it's as close and cage as well, liking the under 2.5 goals. Harry Doherty says draw. Ryan Edwards, this is a draw. But there's Prousty, Brighton definitely win this game. I am liking the draw. Few people, though, commenting on the chat here, Flash. Say, Flash, you're damn great, bro, because you saved my money from Chelsea. Obviously, you said that was a trap, and a few people, it looks like, heeded your advice, and you saved the money. So that's a good point. That's what we're here for. Newcastle now versus Everton. Newcastle 3.7, Everton 2.19. Newcastle obviously lost in style at Old Trafford. Everton managed a narrow 1-0 victory hosting Burnley. Those are the Boxing Day matches. Now, Everton obviously are favoured here, 2.19, but they really don't travel well. I'm just wondering, Newcastle at home, that 3.7 definitely has the value, possibly a draw, no bet. That's where I'm leaning. What about yourself, Martin?
I'm not sure how I'm not sure how this one's going to go. Obviously, Carlo Ancelotti did slightly galvanise Everton, not in the way that Mikel Arteta could do for Arsenal, but yeah, they responded with a victory over Burnley, which is reasonably impressive considering Burnley are a tough nut to crack. So I'm surprised to see Everton as favourites, to be honest, considering they're the away team. And Newcastle aren't bad. Okay, so they were beaten quite comprehensively by Man United, but they've been good at St James's Park this season. They've won their last two
Yeah.
home games there. So, I mean, I think at those odds, I can see why people would want to go for Newcastle, but I'm just going to pass it. I think when there's a new manager involved, often I like to give them a few games before I see what sort of results we're going to get from them. So, I'm going to stay away from this one, I think, and hear what Flash has to say about it.
Yeah, a few people liking Everton. It seems quite on the fence here. Obviously, Newcastle are strong. 4 wins, 4 draws, and a loss at home. I think it'd be a risky time to take Everton. Someone here is liking the under 2.5 goals. I think this could be a close game as well. Over to you, Flash.
Okay, well, I've wrote down 3 different ones because I did an SBR parlay today as well. And this is part of it. And I actually, on the parlay, I've gone for under 2.5 goals at 1.78, but I'm not going to do that with this. I'm actually going to go with a draw again at 3.5. And I've also gone with under 1.5 goals at 3.4. Newcastle, as we said, made 5 or 6 changes when they went to Old Trafford. And the first thing you look for when you're looking at personnel to be fatigued is individual errors and decision making. And they were a shot to pieces for the last 35 minutes at Old Trafford. I think they gifted Man United so many different chances. They dropped. They didn't want to be extending themselves. So for me, I see this possibly being a 0-0. I see this being really drab. And the only player on the pitch, if they put out a relatively strong 11, each of them, is probably Richarlison's the only one that could maybe do something out of nothing. So I'm going with under 1.5 goals at 3.4, and I'm going to go for the draw at 3.5, and hopefully it turns up 0-0.
Yeah, I would say you go for those odds. You don't want to just do under 2.5 goals and
at 1.78.
There's still a lot of. Huh?
Yeah, but the thing is, I think that when I'm looking at this game, I really am got quite strong feeling of it being a 0-0. So I don't mind because I'm risking 2 units, but if it ends up being 1-0, then I'm still going to make 1.4 units on the game.
Right. Well, somebody did say, where's the comment? Something about Paddy says Flash has been spot on with his analysis lately. But then Gore says, no way this Flash is 0-0 Flash. So.
Well, I don't mind a 1-1. Because again, a 1-1, I've got the draw at 3.5. I definitely don't see it being over 2.5 goals, obviously. So if someone wants to be a bit more careful, then 1.78, I have put that in a parlay with another team that we'll go to later.
Okay. Southampton, Crystal Palace now. Saints 2.0, Crystal Palace 4.1. Southampton seem a good bet. Obviously beating Chelsea, 2 wins in a row now, beat Chelsea 2-0. Southampton at home. I know you've got a soft spot for Southampton, Flash.
Well,
2.0, double your money.
No, not at all. I think this is a trap. I went against Crystal Palace at home against West Ham. I was all smug with half an hour to go when West Ham were 1-0 up. And then they came back and got a late win, and what a great goal it was by Jordan Ayew. I've gone with a draw again here at 3.57. I can't split these two sides, and I've got to go with what we've always said over the years. If you can't split them, you go for the draw. I can definitely see this being another drab game, 1-1. Maybe 0-0. So for me, the draw at 3.57, I cannot go with either side to win the game.
Wow, so 3 draws in a row you're predicting, and all under 2.5 goals.
Yes.
Okay, Martin, what do you like here?
Yeah, I appreciate that. Go for the draw if you can't split them. I can't really split these teams either, to be honest. Crystal Palace have only lost once in their last 5 games. What a goal that was from Jordan Ayew, by the way, just like you mentioned. Goal of the season contender there. Southampton are a bit of a Jekyll and Hyde team. They lost back-to-back against Newcastle and West Ham. Then they've gone out and beat Aston Villa and Chelsea. I just can't work them out. Crystal Palace, you know they're going to work hard. There's always Zaha, can always make things happen for them. I'm afraid it has to be another pass from me.
No, I wouldn't put anyone off of Crystal Palace double chance because I think they're overpriced. I think they're definitely overpriced at 4.1. They're a very difficult side to beat. So for me, I mean, go double chance. But I just see it being like a 1-1 draw, maybe even again 0-0.
Yeah, I'm looking at you. I know you don't have the comments up there, Flash, but everyone's liking a Crystal Palace draw, no bet, or the Crystal Palace win. So yeah, I think if you are liking the draw, want to play a little bit safer, that Crystal Palace probably can you play no double chance? Double
Yeah,
chance, is there enough
definitely. The
value in
double
that?
chance will probably be
There's
at
value in that.
2.
Yeah.
I
All
think
right, so
so.
Crystal Palace double chance or something like that could be a good bet, but it is a pass from Martin. Sometimes the best play is a pass. We've got 10 games, so you don't need to play them all. Watford, Aston Villa. Watford 2.03, Aston Villa 3.75. This really is a relegation battle, even in this halfway through the season now. 19th Watford, 18th Aston Villa. Obviously, Aston Villa beat Norwich 1-0 on Boxing Day. I'm wondering if that's going to spur them on now for another win. They have the higher odds, 3.75, but they are on the road. Do you think this is going to be another low scorer, Martin?
Oh yeah, I think so. Both teams have been having low-scoring games recently. That could actually be an interesting way to play it. Watford have improved considerably at the back since Nigel Pearson took over. They're a lot more compact, a lot more solid, a lot harder to break down. Been very impressed with them. 4 points from their 2 games against Man United and Sheffield United is a fantastic haul for a team that were bottom of the league. I actually think they'll beat the drop now. I can see them finishing above Aston Villa this season, who, despite beating Norwich last time out, do look inconsistent for me and not really great on the road either. Apart from Jack Grealish, I don't see a great deal of quality in that team. So, I mean, I'd go for Watford draw no bet if you were putting together an accumulator, but just for the value on this game, I got 2.02 on a home win for Watford. I'm going to go for that because I think they've got momentum right now. But as you mentioned, the goals as well, if you can combine it with an under 4.5 or an under 3.5 for more value there.
Absolutely. That's a very, very good way to look at it. Somebody's asking, right, Kate says, how does the double chance bet work? Double chance meaning you've got 2 chances out of the 3. So you can obviously play Watford and Aston Villa, Watford and the draw. But you do have to just keep an eye out on those odds because often if you go for a favourite and combine it with, say, the draw, it's often very low odds. So that's why you have to go with something around the odds of 4, 5, something like that and combine it with the draw. You can play though draw no bet. So if it is something like a Watford, I don't know, Watford draw no bet, that would probably still be low, wouldn't it? 1.6, 1.5, something like that. So
1.5, yeah.
Is it 1.5? Yeah. So yeah, so if it's a draw, you'll get your money back. So draw no bet. All right. So you're liking Watford and combined with the like the under 3.5 goals as well for those who want more value. Flash, what are you liking?
I like Watford and under 3.5 at 3. Because, I mean, I've got another one for this game as well. I told everyone about what Nigel Pearson would do. As soon as he came in, he would lock everyone up. Everyone will only be accountable for their own job. And if you, 7 or 8, if you do your job, the collective strength of the unit, it will get the job done. They were unlucky not to maybe nick a winner at Sheffield United. They went 1-0 up. And the other one I've gone is Watford to win to 0. At 3.9. I can see this being a 1-0 or 2-0. I think worst case scenario, Watford win 2-1. So again, I'm getting, if I get one of the 2 right, then I only make 1 unit on the game, but I make. So Watford and under 3.5 at 3, and Watford to win to 0 at 3.9.
Okay, interesting. And interesting is something you're both on the same same bet. I know, Martin, are you making it official, the Watford and under 3.5 odds, or just the Watford play?
Just to be difficult, I'll go for Watford and the under 4.5 goals at 2.45. 2.45.
Okay.
I mean, listen, they will be going home.
Rarely you guys on the same page, I have to say, with bets.
Yeah, but I mean, listen, if Watford win and it's over 4.5, something mad's gone on, like Villa have had 4 players sent off, because I'm telling you now that if they get 2 goals in front, there will be 6 defenders, 3 front shields, and Troy Deeney left up front on his own, and you wouldn't be able to find him with a map or a compass. I'm telling you now that would get locked up.
All right, great, nice one. So Watford at the under 3.5 goals or under 4.5 goals there for Martin, and Flash liking the Watford win to 0 as well. Norwich Spurs now. Norwich 5.3, Spurs 1.72. I was going to say a very decent price for Spurs, playing a team that haven't won in their last 6. But Flash, you obviously at the beginning of this video, you were talking about injuries, and I'm guessing that 1.72 is reflective. Is this a trap, is the question?
Oh, I've played about with this game so much. I looked at Norwich double chance. I looked at both teams to score. I looked at just Spurs to win and over 1.5 goals, and none of them were coming out. And the one that came out at me, thinking about the manager and with having limited personnel, I'm going with Spurs to win to 0 at 3.26, because I think that Mourinho might just be able to pull off a 1-0 here, or even maybe a late 2-0. I think he's going to make sure he gets something out of the game. So I've gone with the value with Spurs to win to 0 at 3.26.
Okay, interesting. And you didn't want to like a safer way of playing like a Spurs in the under 3.5 goals, something like that. You were just going head in for the Spurs win to 0.
Well, yeah, because we know what Spurs are like, and we also know what Norwich are like. And if Norwich get behind, they'll keep coming forward. And knowing my luck, I'd go with Spurs and under 3.5, and Kane will score 2 in the last 10 minutes, and it'll be 4-0.
Okay. Somebody wrote here, Spurs is no trap here. Says Booja win and likes your bet. I like it, Flash. Okay, so Martin, Flash is going for Spurs win to 0. What are your thoughts on this game?
I think Spurs can go there and win this, just because Norwich are just in horrible form. They've taken 1 point from their last 5. They're rock bottom of the league. I think they're looking nailed on for relegation right now. So Jose Mourinho's got to look at this game and think this is a match that we have to win. They've kind of emerged as flat track bullies since he took over. They've won 5 out of 7 since he took the reins, and the defeats came against Chelsea and Man United. Against the lesser opposition, they have been blowing them away. Okay, yeah, it's a tough time of year, but he's got players that he can bring in. I mean, he can bring in Eric Lamela if he wants to change things up, or Lo Celso. Surprised that he doesn't play Eriksen. I know that he's a contract rebel and he wants out, but every time Spurs want a goal, they just throw on Eriksen, and he can make the magic happen. So the more players that get injured, I think the need to start the Danish playmaker is becoming more compelling. I think he's good enough to open up this Norwich defence, and I can see Harry Kane having a good game here. Tottenham to win and over 1.5 goals for me at 1.95.
Oh, very nice. That's a great bet, and some good odds there as well. Tottenham over 1.5 goals. Okay, West Ham versus Leicester now. Leicester 1.88 on the road. West Ham 4.2. Very surprised, to be honest with you. We did predict Liverpool to win. I did not predict in style without Leicester scoring. I don't think they had a shot on target. In fact, they didn't have a shot on target playing Liverpool. What went right for Liverpool, wrong for Leicester, Martin?
I don't think a great deal went wrong for Leicester, to be honest. I just think everything went right for Liverpool, and it kind of exposed the limitations of this Leicester side. They're a very good team. You know, they've had some good results against some top teams. They're strong in every department, but Liverpool are just streets ahead of the competition right now. They have had a difficult run of form, Leicester, Man City, and then Liverpool back to back in an intense fixture period like this is harsh. It might have knocked their confidence a bit, but I mean, I still do rate them. I still do think they're a good team. They just couldn't live with Alexander-Arnold and Robertson down the flanks. Liverpool were a bit fresher, and when they get going, they can steamroll any team. This Liverpool side right now. I've been going backwards and forwards with this West Ham game. I was thinking sort of both teams to score, just because Leicester have now conceded a lot of goals. I mean, they've conceded 8 in their last 3 games. But I'm just going to go for a straight Leicester win. I think they can bounce back to winning ways here, just because West Ham have been terrible. They were 1-0 up against Crystal Palace, cruising to victory, like Flash said. Then they imploded in classic West Ham fashion. They were fighting each other on the pitch. Mark Noble was trying to grab Ogbonna around the throat. It looks really messy for them right now. Pellegrini's on the brink of being sacked. I think this is the sort of situation that Leicester can capitalise on. They've got a few players that Brendan Rodgers can bring in to shuffle his pack. And the odds are getting more and more attractive. It was 1.88 when I wrote it down earlier. It's now gone out to 1.95 with a lot of bookmakers. And that sort of price on a Leicester win is good to me. So I'll have that.
Interesting, those odds going out. Obviously, Leicester are only just 1 point now from Man City. This is a must-win for them if they want to keep that second spot. Can they do it, Flash?
Yeah, I think they can, and I'd like to just go back to say, because I thought that the Leicester would maybe get something out of the game against Liverpool. I thought it'd be a draw. I thought it'd be a very drab game. But I've got to go on record and say that's probably the best team performance I've seen maybe in 5 years by a Premier League side. Their balance, their awareness, their appetite. Man, they've just come off of winning the World Club Championship. And their appetite for every man and the subs that came on, all right, they got the penalty. It was a penalty. Obviously, that killed off the game, and they went on and won 4-0. But just from very, very early on, I mean, Schmeichel made some saves. I think Liverpool were just... you had to applaud them. I'm not a Liverpool fan, never have been, never will be. But as a football fan, wow, I've not seen many performances like that maybe in the last 20 years. So, getting back to this game, I'm going with Leicester to win and over 2.5 goals at 2.8. I think Leicester win this game maybe 2-1, maybe 3-0, maybe 3-1. The other thing is with West Ham, when they're at home, they keep going forward. And you know that if you keep going forward against this side with Harvey Barnes on one side, Tielemans and Maddison all supplying Jamie Vardy, then I think they score and they win. So I'm going with Leicester to win and over 2.5 goals at 2.8.
Yeah, very nice. And I do have to say, I like the both teams to score bet. There's a few people on the chat here bringing up both teams to score. Like you said, West Ham at home, they keep going forward. Leicester do concede. I do think that West Ham are going to contribute on the score sheet as well. All right, Burnley, Manchester United. Burnley 4.6 and Manchester United 1.88. I'm sure Newcastle are on a high, that 4-1 victory. Were we predicting? I stay. I think actually, because Newcastle were priced at 10, weren't they? I was like, oh, I don't know. I think those odds, it's worth putting a couple of pounds on that one. Did you predict that score, Flash? Were we at 4-1 Manchester United? Both teams to score is always a good bet with Manchester United, but 4-1.
I went with Manchester United minus 1.5 or minus 1, if you remember, because Martin gave me the...
That's right.
But I thought it might be 3-0 or 3-1, so I definitely had Man United winning or scoring at least 3 goals. So I was happy with the 4-1 in the end. It was an armchair ride, but Newcastle were out on their feet, and that's going back to their game against Everton. I expect that to be not 5-star entertainment up there at St James's Park. This game here, wow, Burnley double chance. No, don't trust it. Man United away from home could get beat up. Their front four look great. Do they then take the Old Trafford form? I put the Old Trafford performance more down to the individual errors of Newcastle. So I've come down on the draw at 3.8. I think that if they pick up another point, they've picked up 4 points in 2 games. I think the draw is the best Man United can hope for. So 3.8, Burnley, Man United, the draw.
Another draw. Paddy's saying under 2.5 goals. I have to say, Burnley do like to keep things close to Turf Moor, and I'm thinking under 2.5 goals as a possible look. Martin, are you playing the outrights, totals, or is this a pass? Because I do think there's a lot of risk involved in this game, to be honest.
Yeah, massive pass for me on this game, Natalie. This looks like a total trap on Man United for me. I think a lot of people will get excited by that result against Newcastle, but there's just been no consistency from this Man United team this season. They never lose back-to-back, but they rarely seem to build up momentum when they pick up a big win. You expect them to really kick on and gain some inspiration and some confidence from it. It never seems to happen. I think it's because they're just not strong enough in every department. They're good going forwards. They've got a couple of good defenders, but the midfield's a bit poor. And yeah, I think Burnley are a difficult team to face at Turf Moor. So I'm just going to stay well away from this one.
Yeah, I have to say, I agree with you, Martin. But Paddy's liking the under 2.5 goals. But then Prutzi saying Alex Classic, an absolute banker. Gore agrees with you here. Manchester United still not consistent. And then Ayub says, don't trust Man United for a straight win. There's no trust in this game on somebody or a team to pull out a victory, and I am staying well away. But Austin says, Flash, you are on point. Burnley draw. It's a tough one. Okay, a couple of matches left on the cards. We've got 3 matches. We'll start with the key fixture here. Arsenal versus Chelsea. Arsenal 2.9. Chelsea 2.4. Very close indeed. Must win for Chelsea now. It's getting crunch time if they want to finish in that top 4 finish. Many were expecting obviously Arsenal to be galvanised under the new manager against Bournemouth. That did not quite happen. Arsenal have the home advantage. Are they going to pull out a win, or are we looking at a possible draw if we can't split them? Who do I start with here? Who do I start with? Flash, I'm going to start with you because I think you could be going for a draw.
No, I'm not. I'm going to go with Chelsea to control the game in midfield and high press. David Luiz will try and do something stupid against his old side because he's that type of ego. So for me, I'm going with Chelsea and both teams to score. I think Chelsea win this game. I expect both teams to be on the score sheet, and I am getting 3.75 for Chelsea to go there. Remember Chelsea I think Chelsea at the moment, they're probably set up better to play away from home. Can't trust Arsenal's midfield. I was very disappointed with the likes of Nelson, Sakho, Mustafi, Luis. Xhaka, I know, is going to Hertha Berlin. They need a complete clear out. They need at least 10 of them players gone, and Mesut Ozil still plays. So for me, Chelsea and both teams to score at 3.75, and I think they control the midfield.
I'd like to know what your average odds are for this round.
That's what I mean. I'm really pleased. Honestly, I'm happy. I'm out. I'm going to have no parlay. I'm going to have no banker. I'm just going to have 12 bets, and if three of them come in, then I'm away and gone.
Nice. So, Paddy says, now this is a game for an Alex Classic. I have to say, I do agree. I think we are going to see goals from both sides. I think it is quite a little difficult to go for the outright. Obviously, Flash disagrees on that one, but I think both teams to score over 2.5 goals is a great look for this game. Martin, what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I was scheduled in to write an article for this over on Odds Market, so I did go for the Alex Classic of both teams to score and over 2.5 goals. I think you can get about 1.75 on that, which seems about right. There's no way that Arsenal are keeping a clean sheet in this game. Socrates Papastathopoulos limped off in that 1-1 draw against Bournemouth, which meant that the walking calamity that is Shkodran Mustafi came on. If Mustafi plays, then Chelsea are definitely scoring at least 2. I don't know what you're going to get with Arsenal, really. With Chelsea, it'll be interesting if they can control the midfield, because Frank Lampard started with 3 at the back and wing-backs in their last 2 games, which is only 2 midfielders, Kante and Jorginho, or Kante and Kovacic. I mean, those 2 alone are probably good enough to control 3 of Arsenal's midfielders. But yeah, I think Chelsea can probably win plenty of battles all over the pitch. I'd be leaning towards Chelsea on the outrights because I just think Arsenal are hopeless at the moment. But you never know. With a new manager, not quite sure what's going to happen. Lacazette looked really, really rusty in that Bournemouth game. If he plays Aubameyang down the middle, drops Reece Nelson, brings in Pepe on the flank, they might have half a chance, but they've got real problems at fullback with Saka and Maitland-Niles. So I can see Chelsea having a lot of joy. Can definitely see Chelsea doing well in this game. I'm leaving the outrights. If I was going to go for anything, I'll go for that Alex Classic of both teams to score and over 2.5 goals. But I don't really like this game all that much, to be honest.
Okay, all right. So pass from Martin. I do like. I think it's a great team. Both teams to score. Alex Classic. I like that a lot. Liverpool Wolves now. Liverpool 1.33 draw 6.1. Wolves 12. Obviously Wolves are playing soon, right? I'm just checking that.
Yeah, 10 minutes.
What time?
10 minutes.
Right.
10 minutes.
Right. Now, obviously, so we are doing this before the game against Man City. I don't know. You guys decide if you want this on your official record or not. But I think obviously Liverpool have pretty much cemented the title. I believe they're 13 points clear now. Obviously, anything can happen. It has happened before, where somebody in the lead, I think it's like 12 points. They have lost the title, so it can happen. But they're strong going forward. They're strong defensively. They're a great team and certainly deserving of the title. So at home, 1.33, obviously very low. Can we combine with that with something to get a little bit more value, Martin?
Yeah, I'm just going to keep it simple. Go for Liverpool and under 4.5 goals, I think, at 1.7. Not huge odds, but I'm confident in that. Very professional, this Liverpool team. That's what I think of them. They're very, very good in all departments, but they're really good at grinding out results. They know how to get the job done. And I can see them controlling this game, going a couple of goals up, and then taking a foot off the pedal, making a few changes, because they've got another big game coming up just in a couple of days' time. I think Wolves could be a potential banana skin for them, but it's that extra day of rest. At this time of year, that can be crucial. Liverpool played last night. They'll have an extra day to prepare. Wolves have got to go from playing Man City to travelling to Anfield in less than 48 hours, which is going to be absolutely brutal because they're going to be chasing the game against Man City. And yeah, I just think that's going to be their undoing. So Liverpool to win, put that in a parlay, but for more value, I'm just going to go for the under 4.5 goals because I think if they do go a couple of goals up, they'll just control the game, take off a few players and prepare to go again in their next match.
Yeah, I know a few Liverpool fans, though, are a bit nervous about this game. Ryan Edwards says, look at those Wolves odds. I have to take it. Boujman says, first draw. Hell yeah, it'll be the second draw for Liverpool. But I don't know. It's very hard. I think somebody also wrote, how do you go? Going against Liverpool at this point of time is suicide. I would agree more on that. I hit the mute button. Flash, what would you say at this point? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I just wasn't interrupting you. I was quite enjoying the silence. Liverpool to win 2-0 for me at 2.09. A little bit like what Martin said. I think this is a very, very tight game. I think that Liverpool may bring in Origi, Lallana, Milner. The squad's in great shape. They all know what they're doing. For me, I just think that it's all about the win. I think it could be a 1-0, could be a 2-0. But at 2.09, Liverpool at home, the way that they played the other night, I see them controlling the game. I see Wolves having an eye maybe on their next fixture rather than this one. So, yeah, Liverpool win 2-0 at 2.09.
Ilias is also liking Liverpool to win till he's like, yes. I think he just typed it as you then said. All right, so liking Liverpool and the Liverpool win 2-0. Okay, final match here now. Man City, Sheffield United. Man City 1.2, Sheffield United 17. Manchester United, they're winning. Sorry, City, they're scoring. But Sheffield United, I find them a bit tricky sometimes. They're having a really good season. They're in 5th right now. Obviously, Man City have the home advantage. Is this a potential trap here, Flash?
No, because of the personnel. No, because of the time of year it's come about. Sheffield United probably the second best away record in the Premier League because they go and they say we've got nothing to lose. We'll leave the drawbridge up. We'll put all our troops in and we'll all go the same way. But in this spot, they're not scoring enough goals. They can't really afford to go gun-ho. They'll get picked off. And again, a bit like Liverpool, I think Man City win this game 2-0. I don't think that Sheffield United have got enough in attack to go and trouble Man City. So I've got Man City to win 2-0 at 2.
Oh, okay, interesting. A couple of people on the chat here liking the. I can see one person here liking both teams to score. Prusy 31, Man City win and both teams to score. Martin, what's your thoughts here?
I'm going to go Sheffield United +2 at odds of even money, 2.0. I think there is a danger, as always with Man City, that they can tear you apart, blow you away, rack up a huge scoreline. But Sheffield United haven't lost a single game on the road all season. 3 wins, 6 draws in 9 away games, and in that time they've only conceded 7 goals. I know Man City are phenomenal going forwards, but I can see it a bit like I said with Liverpool. If they go up, I can see them taking off players. Can see them going into cruise control a bit. I think they might win by a single goal, or maybe by 2. If Man City win by 2 goals, then I get my money back. I can't see them beating this tough Sheffield United team by 3 or more goals, so I'm going to go for that.
Okay, all right, so there we go. All 10 games are previewed for this weekend. Going to start with you, Flash, if you can run down. Obviously, you said you're not going for a banker or a parlay, but you have got 12 bets. So please remind us what those 12 bets are.
Okay, Brighton versus Bournemouth, draw at 4. Newcastle versus Everton, draw at 3.5 and under 1.5 goals at 3.4. Southampton versus Palace, draw at 3.57. Watford, win to nil at 3.9 and Watford to win and under 3.5 goals at 3. Spurs to beat Norwich, win to nil at 3.26. Leicester to beat West Ham and over 2.5 goals at 2.8. Burnley Man United draw at 3.8. Chelsea and both teams to score at 3.75 against Arsenal. Liverpool win to nil at 2.09 and Man City to win to nil at 2.
There you go. All right, Martin, what have you got for us?
So I'm going to go for under 2.5 goals in that Brighton versus Bournemouth game at 1.96. Watford and under 4.5 goals against Aston Villa at 2.45. Spurs and over 1.5 goals away at Norwich, 1.95. Leicester to go and beat West Ham at 1.95. Liverpool and the under 4.5 goals against... Sorry, who are they playing? Against Wolves at 1.7. And Sheffield United +2 on the Asian handicap against the mighty Man City at even money 2.0. Banker, I'll have to go for Liverpool and under 4.5 because I just think they're immaculate at home. They're on fire at the moment and they'll do a number on Wolves.
Yeah. Ryan Paddy's says Sheffield United +2 is an amazing look, but Ryan Edwards says, could this be the beginning of the Liverpool drop-off? I don't think so, but you never know. Football is unscripted. We will be back on Monday. We'll have the results of the weekend. Plus, we will also have our records. In the meantime, have a wonderful weekend. Martin, Flash, as always, thank you very much for your bets, and to everybody commenting on the chat. I'll see you on Monday back in the studio.
Nice, thanks.